So year 2, today we're going to make this watercoloured chameleon picture. Now this is our last lesson in our watercolour module block, and next week we will be starting a new block of work, but it's a secret. I'm not going to tell you what it is until next week. Okay, so we're going to create this chameleon using the following resources. You will need to turn, of course, to your next clean page. So look for the last piece of work you did, turn over the page, leave this page here and start to work on this side, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to do this just on a piece of paper as it's easier. You will also need a black marker pen, your pot of water, your watercolours, and a detail fine brush and a medium thick brush, okay? Now the first thing we're going to do is to start to draw the chameleon, and to do that you need to go to the top corner of your page, and first of all you're going to draw his head, and his head is this sort of shape, okay? And you're going to draw a line down the end like that, and he's got a mouth and an eye. Okay, so there's the chameleon, and then it's time to draw the body of the chameleon, okay? Now the body goes up and then down, and then we're going to curl into a big tail. So we're going to make a spiral shape for the tail, okay? And then the bottom line for his body goes across like this. It doesn't need to be straight, and bring it down to the tail like that, okay? Now, at the moment he has no legs. You don't want to put the legs on yet, because what you're going to do is you're going to draw, oh actually let's put the legs on next. So you're going to draw 2 legs. I'm going to put one here, like that, and one here, like that, okay? There's his 2 legs. And then you're going to add the branch on which the chameleon is sitting. So you need to make sure that it's underneath his legs, and you don't want to cover over the tail with it, and it needs to go right to the end of the page like that, okay? And to that branch you may want to add some branches coming off and some leaves. So I'm just going to do some leaf shapes, and one this side, and maybe one over here. And you might want to add the trunk of the tree coming down like this. It's up to you. And then you could have some branches coming off on this side as well, okay? It's up to you to decide, okay? Now, I've got the basic outline. You can now start adding some details to your chameleon. So you might want to do a little collar on his back like that. You might want to do some lines to show where his skin is scaly. You might want to draw some scales onto his skin. It's up to you to decide. Okay? Up to you to decorate your chameleon as you want him. Okay? Now, once you have drawn the chameleon, you've filled up your space, the next step is to paint, and I think you will need your fine brush for now and your watercolours. Now you can use drawing inks if you're at school, but I'd like to model with the watercolours today. Okay, so remember, we're going back to what we've always said about watercolours. You dip your brush in the pot, you choose your colour, and you mix it onto the palette, and it takes a little bit of time, but it means the colour is nice and even when you come to use it, okay? Now I'm going to use this orangey colour, I think, to do the head. Now it's quite important that you start with the details of the picture, so do all the main parts, and then you leave the sky section, the background, until later. Now can you see how I'm using nice long strokes? I've seen some children scrubbing like this, and when you scrub it ruins the paper. Now you can also see that I keep topping up my paint and my water. That's really important because you don't want to have a dry brush. And can you see how much thicker the paint is when I add more paint? So keep doing that. Keep that well, very wet with lots of paint on it. And remember, nice long strokes. Okay, now you can choose any colours to do your chameleon. Remember, clean your brush, stroke it on the side, use a tissue to dry it, and then you can start your next colour. You can choose any colours, as I said, but remember, you're mixing onto the palette. You're using water to make it wetter. You're doing the chameleon. Now remember, if you've got small sections to do, you use the tip of your brush. Okay, use the tip of the brush so that you don't go over the lines. Now my brush is beginning to get dry, so I need to keep mixing up that paint. And right along, okay? Now I'm going to leave you to paint your chameleon. I'm not going to talk anymore about how you need to paint it. You just need to make sure you've got the right colours for your tree. You choose the colours carefully of your chameleon, and then you paint your background. Of course, because it's the sky, is going to be a blue colour, okay? And I'm going to leave you to continue to paint and finish off your chameleon. And as I say, this is our final project in our watercolour block. And I look forward to seeing your work here too. Bye for now.